Damn, Tyrese Maxey, are you kidding me? This kid is so unreal, especially in the past so many games since James Harden's coming to town. My goodness, he is so electric, he is so fun to watch, and I just can't I can't think of anything else to say because it's just so fun to watch Tyrese Maxey do his thing and him just step up so much, saying basically, I want the ball, I want the big moment, I'll get you guys that bucket, just give me the ball. And that's basically what he has been doing the entire night and ever since James Harden came into town. Man can't miss from three. The man can't miss his shots in general, using his speed going up and down the court, whether it's getting a layup, whether it's a step back three. The kid just does it everything. He literally does. My goodness, Tyrese Maxey is so electric tonight. So electric. And after that first quarter that the Sixers had, basically that first half and a half, honestly, poor defensively. And it looked like the Sixers were struggling from shooting, but they were shooting above 50% in the half. Literally just, above, I think they were like 56% at the half. They were fine shooting. That's a good half at shooting. But the matter of the fact is that the Cavaliers, they were above, 65, 70% shooting, especially in that first quarter. They had, 43 points in that first quarter. Like, that simply just cannot happen. For as good as this Cavaliers team is, they just couldn't miss. And that's the matter of the fact that, one, this team was not playing good defense. Also, they were struggling to get defensive boards, especially in that first half, which was very annoying, and you're seeing that on a consistent basis. This team is just struggling, basically this entire year, too. Just struggling to get those defensive boards and allowing the other teams to grab those boards, and it kind of does get annoying. And right now, this team is becoming a true, really ramping it up in the third quarter, which, it's really nice to see that. But the only thing I would complain about is that, can you not wait until the third quarter? Can we do this entire thing for the entire game? Even though you got the win, which is all that matters in the end, but seriously, can we just, my goodness. But before we get into all of that nonsense, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And if you are new to the channel, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button. So if you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be at, depending on the outcome. Great or miserable, depending on that outcome. Also, if you're a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. And if you are looking for any tickets, upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So, you want to go see Tyrese Maxey do his thing, Joel Embiid, James Harden, get yourself some Sixers tickets. Also, if you want to go to some NHL games, if you want to experience a Flyers game, for Christ's sakes. Also, when the baseball, whenever the hell they decide to get together and come back. And also, when football season returns, free $20 in your pocket. Can't pass that up. Free beverage, or basically use that money for a beverage, for a food item. You can't go wrong with that. $20 off TTP Sports. Use that code at SeatGeek today. So the Sixers, they beat the Cavaliers by a score of 125-119, and Tyrese Maxey basically just stole the show in the rest of that second quarter. My goodness, he finishes with 33 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. He was 10 of 15 from the floor, 5 of 6 from 3, and 8 of 9 from the charity stripe. He was just simply fantastic and just so amazing in that second half. He was just simply, I know I'm repeating words, but seriously, there's so many things, words that I can't think of to describe Tyrese Maxey, that I'm just going to the same words over and over again, because that's just how great Tyrese was. My goodness, he is electric. He is so electric. James Harden had himself a pretty nice night as well. 25 points, 11 assists, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. 6 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3, and 11 of 12 from the free throw line. Joel Embiid, I guess you can say an off night for Embiid. 22 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. He was a -1 on the floor. He was 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 0 of 4 from 3, and a 7 of 14 from the field in total. It kind of felt like, especially in that first quarter, the entire team just basically wasn't playing defense. They weren't getting the stops. And Tyrese Maxey said this too on postgame as well, that basically in that entire first, the mentality getting into that second half was just getting stops, because they were not doing that whatsoever. The Cavaliers were just going all over the floor in that first, just hitting everything they got. You got Jared Allen getting 20 points. You got Okoro getting 22 points. You got Garland getting 26 points. You got Kevin Love in that first quarter going off. He got a couple of threes in that first half. And even though he did quiet down the rest of the game, he was letting it up a little bit in that first quarter. You got Osman getting 20 points off of the bench as well for Cleveland. So those guys were definitely going off in that first half. But it kind of, even though the Cavaliers are like nowhere close to that Knicks team, the Cavaliers are a way better team and they have a really good future in this league. It's just that it's the same situation that I felt from Wednesday against the Knicks, to where it felt like the Knicks were hitting every single shot in that first half. But then when you look at the rest of the game, it felt like everything was going to even out. And it eventually did in that second half, where the Sixers went off and they eventually won the game. This is one of those similar scenarios where the Knicks completely just were not missing at all in that first half. And then once you get into that second half, everything starts to, even out, and that's when the Sixers take over the game, and that's when they manage to close it out and get that very important victory. And also, Sixers coming off of the bench, Niang and Shake Milton, they were huge tonight, especially Niang. He goes 5 of 8 from 3. My goodness, this guy could not miss from beyond the arc. It was simply amazing. Niang finishes with 17 points, 2 rebounds, 6 of 9 from the field in total, and like I said, 5 of 8 from 3. And you got Shake Milton, he getting 11 points off of the bench in 21 minutes. 4 of 6 from the field, and 2 of 3 from 3, and he went to the free throw line once on an and one. Also got it in 4 rebounds and an assist as well. But looking at some of the other starters, Tobias Harris, he's getting more involved in the offense, which is nice to see, but he missed 5 3-pointers tonight, and he's still, there were a little bit, in that first quarter as well, it kind of felt like there were just situations where the Sixers were being a little way too pass heavy, and they were trying to, hand the ball off to everyone else and just like missing, or I wouldn't say missing, I would say passing up wide open looks, if you know what I mean. So it kind of felt like that was just the scenario throughout that entire first half, but they got better as the game went along, which was one of those type of scenarios. But Tobias Harris finishes with 15 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 7 of 16 from the field, and 1 of 1 from the free throw line. Matisse Thybulle, a pretty shitty night. He finishes with 0 points, did not get anything going. He also had 5 fouls on the night, so he really didn't get anything the rest of the way there. He only got 17 minutes in this game as well, so he just wasn't... He just had one of those really bad nights from Matisse. Wasn't really a factor defensively, got no steals, and just wasn't really doing anything at all. And when he's not doing anything offensively, and especially when he's not being effective as he can defensively, he's going to be a liability out there, and that's what he was tonight. He was a minus 13 on the board, and he was 0 of 2 from the field, and both of those attempts were from the three-point line. So, yeah, not the best night from Matisse. So, like I said, even when I say that the stats even out basically for both teams, especially going into that second half. I don't know why I opened this tab up. So let me bring this other tab up to basically showcase what I mean. So the Cavaliers, when I think it was in the first half, like when you go into the half, it was I think their field goal percentage was at least above 65%. I believe it was in the 70s at least, and that's just how electric they were in that first quarter. And basically also just generating from the Sixers not playing the best defense in the world, and they were just hitting every single shot they got. And they finished off the game with a full field goal percentage of 53.7%, and the Sixers finished with a better field goal percentage at 54.7%. So, like I said, it felt like things did even out, which I do appreciate, and it was basically the similar scenario as the next game. The Sixers were also 42% from 3, and the Cavaliers, they were 35% from 3. So there was something that's nice right there, but the Sixers, they don't have that much time for rest. They have a back-to-back tomorrow against the Miami Heat, and that's definitely going to be a very, very tough matchup, especially as Miami does get healthier, even though I believe they do still have some guys missing. But Miami, they're one of the best teams in the conference. They're first place in the conference for a reason. So even though I remember it was the last time, I think it was a back-to-back the Sixers had between Boston and Miami earlier in the year, and the Sixers managed to win that game in Miami on the second half of the back-to-back. So it's going to be a very exciting game, especially now with James Harden in the mix. And hopefully Joel Embiid, this is one of those nights where he says, I was shitty, and I'm going to bounce back the next night and completely dominate. And I'm expecting that much from Joel Embiid, because it's felt like he's been a little bit quiet in the past couple of games. He really hasn't been, as dominant as he was, and that's probably still a matter of the fact he's adjusting still to James Harden being in the mix. Even though those two have still been very electric together, I still think Joel Embiid is adjusting to the new mix-up and trying to, find his right place there. And also, like, he's going to have off nights. He's not going to dominate every single night. That's just outrageous at this point. Even though Joel Embiid has been fantastic this entire year, he still leads the NBA in points per game with 29.5, so he's still electric. He's going to be one of the MVP frontrunners as the season ends, so nothing's going to be happening there, even though probably people are going to look at this game and say, oh, look at Joel Embiid right there. He's not the MVP. Look at everything. I know the whole argument with him and Jokic. I'm not going to get into that entire thing, but still, I expect a way better performance from Joel Embiid tomorrow. I think that is the entire summary of that. Joel Embiid, I remember him saying so many times after an off night, he says, I'm shitty, I'm going to bounce back the next game, and I'm going to dominate, hopefully, and I do expect that from Joel tomorrow. And hopefully it's going to be an exciting game. Two top teams in the Eastern Conference going at it, and can't wait to see it. You got Jimmy Butler on the court for Miami. Kyle Lowry is basically, like I said, two of the top teams, and you get another, trio right now with the way the Sixers have been playing right now with Embiid, Harden, and Tyrese Maxey. So, yeah, it's going to be a very, very fun game tomorrow, and I can't wait to watch every second of that. And it's still going to be a very tough stretch for this team when you got Miami tomorrow, you got the Bulls on Monday, and you also got the Brooklyn Nets on Thursday. So it's still going to be a very tough stretch for this team, and they get the very important win tonight against another tough opponent. So let's see how they can continue going down this stretch. So what are your thoughts on this game, everyone? What are your thoughts on Tyrese Maxey's performance? Are you worried about Joel Embiid a little bit with the way he's been playing recently? Are you not worried? Are you confident that he's going to bounce back in the next game? I want to hear all those thoughts down in the comment section below, as always, so don't forget to leave those down there. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to check out the panel lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida Pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you do is hit that sub button and also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek, and I will see you next time.